Okay, so we have got to talk about excuse me, to talk spoilers about R.L. Stine's Fear Street Super Chiller series book called Silent Night 2. And oh wow, I have a lot of thoughts about this book. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So Silent Night 2, I can't remember what this book's number is in the Super Chiller series, but it is a Super Chiller series book, and all the Super Chiller series books written by R.L. Stine, of course, are just a bit more longer. They're a bit more scarier and darker and more drawn out, if you want to call it that, if you will. And this one I felt like was one of the shorter Super Chillers books that I've read so far. I think that was also the same with Party Summer. That was one of the first Goosebumps books I have read as a whole. It wasn't only the very one. Ugh, I cannot talk today. It wasn't only the very first Super Chiller series book that I've read, but yeah, I got a lot of thoughts about Silent Night 2, so let's go ahead and start with them. So, Silent Night 2 I thought was a really good book. It was, I thought, very well written. Had some good characters, except for Reva Dalby, of course. Everybody hates Reva Dalby. I didn't really have too much of a problem with her. Kind of near the ending of this book. Well, yeah, kind of near the ending. From the middle to the ending, I didn't have much of a problem with her overall. But before the middle, yes, she was just nasty. She was arrogant, selfish, jerk, just an idiot. So I can definitely understand why many people hate her. Some people have also said that she is worse in this book than in book 1, and I'm soon planning on buying and reading the original Silent Night book soon, probably a little bit later this month, or maybe next month this year. I'll have to see. I didn't put on my TBR for this month. But Silent Night 2, a really good book. Unfortunately, it's just another solid, average, strong, middle-of-the-road book for me. Everything about it is just middle of the road for me, basically. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about that. So yeah, you have Reva, you have her more poor cousin, Pam. You know, Pam returns once more. Yeah, she's just poor cousin. And Reva, of course, is the just rich and bratty cousin. And Pam kind of has been getting into this relationship with a boy named Vincent. He's just this real handsome guy that Reva also tends to like too. So Reva actually steals Vincent from her. Remind you, this is a spoiler-filled, not spoiler-free book review video for this book. So just another fair warning before I go into all the rest of the spoilers. I may miss a couple, but I may not. You never know. Yeah. So, Reva just steals Vincent from Pam at one point in the book. I think it was near the middle. Just, you know, being a jerk. It was just one of her ways of just proving herself as an idiot, arrogant, selfish jerk. Yeah, she also just thinks terrible things about people, kind of more near the beginning of this book, and then at one point she actually says in her mind, it's written out in the book, I'm telling you, I'm being honest here, and she says, ooh, I'm so nasty. I mean, I'm serious, she really thinks that out in her mind at one point in this book, and I'm like, you are such a just freaking stupid person, man. Like just go, like, I don't know. I don't have words for her. Like, go throw yourself away. I mean, like, go throw your life away if you want to be nasty, idiot jerk like that. So, yeah, that's just kind of how Reba behaved at some parts in this book. You also have these three other characters who you actually read about them when it's in their point of view too, which is also pretty interesting. This book jumps from different characters' point of views back and forth, which is also pretty interesting. It's something new in a Fear Street book that hasn't been done before, at least out of all the ones that I've read to date. So that was pretty interesting. This, unfortunately, wasn't a very much of a Christmassy themed book. And I thought it would have been. Maybe Silent Night would be a bit more Christmassy themed. But this one sure wasn't, and I'm not at all excited to read the third Silent Night book. Just because I heard even more terrible things about that book than this book. A lot of people like this book more than that one, so I'm just going to completely pass on Silent Night 3. But not on the original Silent Night. I'm going to see if I like it more or less than the sequel. But again, everybody has their own different opinions. Not every book is for everybody. Yeah, a lot of people hate this book, and I just cannot understand why. It's a really great book on its own for me. Yeah, anyway, back to the three characters. You have a kind of older teen named Presley. My younger sister's name. You have Presley. His real name was Paul, but everybody just nicknames him Presley. Like, it's really weird. But then I think he also has his girlfriend named Deanne. Yeah. I don't remember for sure if she is his if she is his girlfriend or sister. You know, I don't know quite for sure, but they're really close together. I think she is his girlfriend. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, they're very close, and they're down on their luck. They are poor, and they just need money. And I will also know that this book screams out a really loud message of the poor versus the rich, and how they view each other. So that's really interesting in this book. It's also something that that has not been in another Fear Street book out of all the ones that I've read too, which is pretty interesting. So you have Press, Deanne, and then you also have Press's older brother named Danny. Danny's just kind of a weird man. I think he's like 22. He's a young man. He is very weird to me. He kind of behaves weird. If you make him mad, he's going to do some bad stuff in the book. So I thought that was pretty interesting too. I didn't hate Danny as a character. I thought he was just kind of like Reba Dalby or Dalby. Why do I keep saying Dalby? It's Dalby. But I don't think he was at all as worse as her. But it turns out that him and Deanne and Presley are all the three main kidnappers and the three main villains of this book. So yes, that's the major spoiler in this book. But I will also note, this book does not have a mystery to it. If you want a perfect Fear Street book with a perfect, great mystery to it, I would recommend skipping this one. It doesn't even have a mystery to it because it's one of those Fear Street books. It's also unique because it has a shocking first chapter where after you read the first chapter, you know who the main villains are, and in that case, it's those three. At the first chapter, though, it first only really talks about Deanna Presley only in their point of view. Danny hasn't appeared in the story just yet. I can't remember when he appeared a little later in the story. And then, yeah, he has a big part to play in the story, too, just like those other two. And here's what they want to do. All three of them, well, technically, the two of them, Deanne and Presley, wanted help from Danny to kidnap Reva and hold her for ransom because they're so poor. They really want money for Christmas. They want to have a good Christmas, and they're so jealous of Reva's money and her possessions, and they hate Reva's dad too, Robert Dalby. I didn't have a problem with Reva's dad. Yeah. So that's what they want to do. That's their plan. There's 3 main kidnapping attempts played out in this book by at least the 3 of them, and they failed. They were a little bit silly at times, but they were really more serious and a little bit more darker to me, but they all failed. But the 4th and final climactic kidnapping scene near the very end of the book, which is probably one of my favorite parts in the entire book for me, it felt like it was not going to fail because it was going one way, but then it just completely went another way, and then it failed for the 3 of them. So that was pretty interesting. Before that 4th and final kidnapping attempt, Press somehow went to jail, like just out of the blue, because he beat up another kid in school, I think. So the 2 of them, Deanne and Danny, just tried to bail him out, try to get him out of jail, and they finally were able to. I don't remember if they did it or someone else. But it was either those 2 or somebody else that finally got Press out of jail, so then all 3 of them were able to kidnap Reva and Pam, because I think it was either a party or something else when Reva was like going to Pam's house, and then Pam was outside to greet her, and then that's when the 3 of them just snuck up behind both of them and kidnapped them, stuffed them in a car. I think it was Press's old Plymouth. Yeah, Plymouth. And then they took them to they took the 2 of them, all 3 of them took the 2 of them both to the, I think, 5th or 6th floor of the Dalby department store. Of course, the famous store that, Reva and her dad works at. And then they decide to leave them there, and then get the money, I think. I could be wrong on that. I don't really remember that scene, that part of the ending too much. And then, shortly after they bring them up, they both get tied to chairs, and then Pam tells Reva a shocking twist. Well, it's not so much a twist. Well, actually kind of is too, that she was working with those 3 all along, because she found out that Reva deliberately stole Victor from her and broke her heart. Mentioned out in the book. So Pam wanted revenge. She wanted to help those 3. She agreed to kidnap Reva, get the money, and then get part of the ransom money from her dad. From Reva's dad. Yeah, that's really all the rest of the spoilers that I have to say for this book. It's a pretty good book, again. The kidnappers finally get caught by the FBI at the very end of this book, so it ends off, it's a happy Fear Street story. So yeah, that's really going to do it for this review for you guys today. And when it comes to Silent Night 2, yes, I'm again going to rate it a solid average middle of the road ranking, for me, in my opinion, 2.5 out of 5 stars. So yeah, that's going to do it again. Let me know your thoughts and opinions and other stuff. Comment and put them down below in the comment section. Subscribe down below, like down below, and I'll see you again in my next videos. Take care.